Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay, the movie review thing. We'll come up with a better name for that. I'm the OutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And yeah, we are back once more watching movies. This month's movie was Perfect Blue, the Satoshi Kon film from, what was it, 95, I think?
So, 95 or 6.
Okay.
Or was it 7? I don't know. Maybe we should know that.
I'm gonna
informed about what we're watching.
You guys talk. I'm gonna have the Wikipedia page up just in case I need to reference anything because I should know things, but I don't. But I could if I wanted to.
I mean, I've heard of the movie before, but I had no idea it was actually animated by Madhouse. I thought that was surprising.
Oh yeah, 97.
97. Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff. I like me some Madhouse every now and then.
Yeah, I really like the way it was edited.
Well, I think that's definitely Satoshi Kon's work.
Yeah,
Because
the directing style. I really
his style is always very. I like his he always has these quick shots that just give you enough information without overdoing it, and it keeps it's very kinetic.
Yeah.
And sharp.
What other movies has he?
Paprika, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay, I've seen Paprika.
I feel like I'm forgetting some, but those are the big ones. I think I want to say I heard something about he might have another movie coming out in the future. He's dead. We should say that, but there were leftover storyboards from.
It was called Dream something.
Yeah, it was about robots, but it was based on some older story. I don't want to say Pinocchio because I'm pretty sure that's just AI.
I think they're trying to find a director who they feel can fulfill his vision of it.
Yeah, but
and finish it, but they haven't yet.
Yeah, it's been on hold for a very long time. It might never get finished, but if it does, I think it'd be nice to see.
I'd at least like to see the bits and pieces if there are any.
Yeah, because I think they said he storyboarded most of the movie.
Yeah.
Before he died. But that's a thing for another day.
All his movies are brilliant, by the way. So I've seen them all, and they're all great.
Yeah,
so if anybody wants to watch
is he
more.
your favorite or?
He's my favorite anime director, probably.
Okay.
A little above Miyazaki and all that. But
That is saying a lot when you're above Miyazaki.
I know I love Miyazaki. I'm not gonna downplay that at all. He's fantastic, but there's just something about Satoshi Kon's work that I feel just resonates with me more.
It's a little more.
I don't think it's about the talent of the person, just taste, I guess.
The stories in that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. He's a lot more psychological of a director.
Yeah, maybe that's
He
why.
has those elements a lot more. This one especially. I think this was
This is his first one, I think.
Paranoia Agent. That was the one series he did. I just remembered that one.
Yeah.
Which is also apparently very psychological. We might have to watch that at some point.
I actually have not seen that. I've seen his movies.
I think we
but
watched
not
the first
show.
episode.
I think we did.
Yeah. But yeah, so we should probably get into the plot. We're just kind of going over the background of this. So the plot is at times a little hard to follow, but the basics of it are that there's a girl named Mima. I think there's a longer name, but everyone just calls her Mima, who is a pop idol, and she wants to break into acting, which is difficult having a pop idol persona and doing that. So she's leaving her group to pursue, I want to say it's a television role where, I don't know, something's good. She's the sister of a victim of a crime. It's like a murder mystery drama series. And it's the plot of it is primarily about her reconciling her former public image with what she's trying to create for herself, her public persona, and it's affecting her personal life. She's starting to have a bit of a mental breakdown where she's starting to, where the lines of where does persona me start and real me start, and it goes back and forth a lot because she's not entirely sure whether things that are happening to her are really happening, and it gets very cerebral throughout the film. How did you guys follow it? Because we're both coming into this having already seen it.
Yeah.
For most of the movie, I was able to follow it. I think towards the last act, and I think this was intentional. It got a little, I don't want to say confusing, but it made you question what was real and what wasn't real. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that end, I was like, wait, is this all in her head? Is she actually doing this? Is this what's going on? But then, like, the
Yeah.
last five kind of explained that what happens, and it's like, okay, get now.
I felt the same way, I guess. I was kind of confused at parts, but then I think, like, I wasn't as confused as I have been before about stuff.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good, right?
Yeah, so, I don't know. I think it was interesting.
Okay.
It was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Does it require another viewing to really get into it?
I don't know how I'd feel about watching it another time.
Oh, so you didn't like it much.
We should mention it's a pretty dark movie at times.
Yeah, I feel like we should have some like warnings.
I feel like I did warn them in the update that this was going to be a darker
okay.
movie.
It
Probably
has
should've
some
double
triggering
reset,
stuff,
So
just
I
to let
forgot
people
about the
know.
one scene.
It has about 2 scenes that are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's 2 rape scenes. Well, they're
One
at no
is
point does she get
is
raped, so.
one is there. She becomes a movie star, and so they have to film a rape scene, and everyone involved is uncomfortable with it. But they,
Yeah, a little bit.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one almost was, but I believe she actually kills the guy before he gets to try
Yep.
and.
Well, she does some. We don't know. His
We
body
don't- yeah.
disappears,
It's
so
kinda,
I'm not sure.
A lot of people are dying in this movie.
Did he ever even exist? You know?
That's
I
another
think
question.
he did.
You think
I
he
think
did?
he did, too.
I'm
I
not
know you
sure
have your
that
own
he did.
theories.
I have
Maybe
my own theories about this movie.
We're gonna have a spoiler section, so we'll save that for there. But
I think we already spoiled some.
okay, yeah, and I apologize if we're ruining some stuff for you. It's hard to go into this movie talking about it without getting some degree of spoilers early on.
Yeah.
at least a trigger warning for people that don't
Oh yeah,
like
there's
that.
definitely a trigger warning on this. Mm-hmm. I hope I said that whenever we announced that. But yeah, there's other characters as well. Primarily, Mima's agents, who are like kind of they're kind of like representing kind of both her passions. On the one hand, she's like, maybe I should have stayed as a pop idol and stuck with the group and just try to make it at that. And that's kind of represented in Rumi, her female agent, who's basically just says that sentiment almost all the time. It's like, oh, you should have been working as a pop idol and doing this and blah blah blah. You're singing. That's the big thing. And her other manager is, I forget his name, but he.
I don't know. Weird eye guy. I'm not sure.
Oh, every guy has weird eyes in this.
Everyone has weird eyes. Like,
Everyone
so
but
did
her.
Rumi.
Yeah, Rumi had weird eyes too.
Yeah.
That's like a thing about the animation.
They all
is,
look
like,
a little like fish. I'm just gonna
a
say.
touch. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like everyone,
real.
it's a very visually distinct movie in that
Yeah.
regard, at the very least. But yeah,
It looks unsettling. Like almost everyone looks.
I think it's
unsettling.
supposed to, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of unsettling things, including like in the soundtracks. There's certain like points where they bring up this one bit of the score, and it's just off. It makes everything feel like off, and it's supposed to because things are weird. But
Yeah, I noticed Rumi's eyes. I noticed the stalker guy. Like his
yeah,
It's creepy.
he's a whole thing. He had a whole animation team, I'm sure. But yeah, the other agent, the guy, is trying to push her towards what her career can change into with the acting in the dramatic series. And the part of the problem and what makes her a little uncomfortable, her other manager a little uncomfortable, is some of the scenes, like there was a rape scene in the show. They make her a little on the uncomfortable side. She wants to, but she's like trying to put on a strong face and just like push through it because she feels like if I do this now, I can get better opportunities for stuff later and have a better career out of it. And maybe, we're not sure at this point, but I think they're like trying to take it as a calculated risk, and those are kind of like the physical representations of her own inner struggle between her former self and the self that she's trying to create now. And then there's the whole public's reaction to her and everything else. And some people are like, oh, wow, she was actually really good in that. I didn't think she was going to be that good. But then there's her old fan base who are kind of like, this isn't Mima, or what? The name is tough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Steve Bloom guy was that guy. He's just like, ugh, you
Oh,
call
you watched
this?
the dub?
Oh yeah, the link.
Did you watch the dub?
Yeah, the link that you gave me, it didn't work on my computer, so I had to watch.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, we
I
watched
think
the
I know who you're
sub.
talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. How was the dub? Because, like, the sub was pretty decent.
I know you're surprised by the one dude's voice, though.
Yeah, the stalker dude's voice did not match, in my opinion, but...
I think he was supposed to sound lame, though.
I guess so,
You know,
but-
like weak.
Yeah. What did it sound like in the dub?
Pretty creepy. I mean, for a late '90s dub, it's pretty good. I mean, the Mima sounds good. The rest of the cast sound pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good to hear. Maybe I'll have to check that out at some point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of things we could talk about without spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the plot.
Spoiler
I
talk?
don't
What?
know. I wanted to ask something specific, but I think it falls into spoiler category.
You know what? Screw
I
it.
think we
Spoiler,
can get
spoiler
into
talk.
spoilers.
Okay,
That's
I'm
the
gonna
plot.
I'm just gonna say it now. We may have spoiled a little bit at this point, but like nothing that's major yet. I don't think so. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds, and I'm gonna put a time code at the bottom if you want to skip to past the spoiler talk. Spoiler talk starts now.
Okay, so what was the pizza guy who killed the photographer or not?
That's a great question. We're going to have to
Yeah.
put a little bit... Yeah, so the photographer was... I mean, if we're talking spoiler talk, I feel like people already know what happened. But the photographer took pictures of her and he got her to get naked for the shoot. And that's not great for her image as the pop idol part. Which, again, she's trying to give up. So it's like... Still. Hard to say. It looked like a
Yeah.
female.
Yeah, like, was it her? Was it Rumi pretending to be her, or
Part of me is feeling it was
or
Rumi.
was it a dream? I don't know.
There was some physical evidence.
There was, but like, is it reliable? She's been hallucinating a lot. You
She
know?
has been, and it's got a bit of that Inception quality of like, she's on set, she's doing a scene,
Yeah,
she wakes up, and it's
up.
like take 2, 3, 4, and like it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. It's hard to tell what is reality and what is fantasy, what is delusion. I know that's definitely intentional because like, I guess this is kind of a critique on like Japan's idol culture
Yeah.
and stuff.
I mean, Al knows that I think she killed everyone, but that's just
Yeah,
my
we can go
thing.
into the theory section if we want of like what we believe happened,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
'cause
know
that's
what
a
you
whole
guys
thing.
think.
but
I'd like to hear it.
do you want like the theory for the whole movie? You can go into it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Give it
it's
to me.
just like what I think. I'm not really sure, but I don't know.
Lay
I
it
was
on me.
wondering if, because do you guys remember that section that was in the TV show where they were talking about, what was it? You know, they were,
She was in a hospital or whatever, and they were under observation, and the detectives were kind of going like, okay, so she has like multiple personality disorder or something, and and she's like, yeah, she believes that she was this pop idol who became an actress, but really she was a stripper who was raped and created this fantasy world to cope with everything else. So your theory is
My theory is basically like, I was wondering if everything that we see in the TV show is actually reality, and then everything we see with Mima outside of the TV show is her like imagination, and she's actually like killing these people who assaulted her or wronged her in the past. But I don't know. I'm not sure, man.
It's within the realm of possibility, I suppose.
And then there's another theory where
Go for it.
like all three of them are the same, like Rumi, Mima, and what's his face? Creepy dude.
Me-mania.
Mimania are like the same person, and Rumi is like the older version of Mima because she used to be an idol. So it's like she grew up and is this
And she's like
person.
stuck in the past.
And she's like stuck in the past, and now she's like going back and killing these people who wronged her. So it's a similar theory, but I don't know. Like, because at the end, I don't know, there's something screwy about it. To me, at the end, she looked like, the girl with the flowers looked like Mima, but Al thinks she looked like Rumi, so I don't know.
think she looked like a combination because he was clearly trying to style
think-
her hair at that point to look
I
like
thought it-
Mima.
Yeah.
I thought that was Rumi who thought she was Mima.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
That was
Because-
what I took away from it too.
Yeah, I kind
yeah,
of
go
took this
for it.
as face value kind of thing. Face value is a relative term in this scenario, but yeah, I was kind of taking it as it was being presented as just this is her life. The lines between her life and the TV show that she's making, especially with the murders that are going around with it, are starting to blur, and she's kind of having a little bit of trouble separating, okay, what is reality? What is delusion? What's a dream? And it's all compounded by the fact that she's kind of having an existential crisis at this time, so it's blurring those lines even more. And on top of that, Rumi's the one killing everyone and trying to kill her as well. And we didn't mention the Mima's Room, an internet, a blog in the early 90s, which is basically like an online diary for a fake Mima, but it's so accurate to Mima's actual life. Clearly someone's stalking her and writing all this stuff down. But at the same time, it's like putting out a lot of stuff like, I wanted to be the pop idol and they made me become something else and help me and all this sort of stuff. And they're emailing me Mania and being like, hey, kill people. And he's an obsessed enough fan to do it.
Do you think the idol like version of, because at the end they like show that Rumi is like the idol Mima
Yeah.
like figure. So do you think that Rumi was the one emailing me Mania?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's my thoughts. Though, in Yin's version, I suppose Me-Mania didn't exist, and no one's emailing anyone.
I mean, it's just nobody else that ever made contact with this dude or saw him except her.
I mean,
I really just don't know that he exists.
I see what you're saying throughout most of the film, but he was there in the beginning. He did get into a fight with the guy at the thing, and the guy did
The
disappear.
concert.
I guess. I don't know.
Unless all of that was in her head?
I mean, yeah, how much of the movie is in her head? It's
And that's a
like,
good question,
It's
like-
hard to say. Like, the one girl appears on stage and stuff with the other idols a couple times, you know?
Yeah.
And that's clearly happening in her head. But she's not there at the stage.
At
you
that
know, but
point,
it's
I'm
still
thinking
happening.
it's Me-Mania's head that it's happening in, because that's the world that he
Okay,
wants
so we're
to
just
exist.
shifting perspective. So we're not constantly in her perspective. We're also in Me-Mania's.
To some degree, I think there is some shifting perspective a little bit.
I don't know. To me, it just seems so closely focused on her. I find it hard to believe that it's shifting to him. You know.
Okay.
But that's just me. You know.
I'll say this, if nothing else, this movie definitely brings up a lot of questions, and it's interesting to
Yeah.
discuss. Like, is it all a dream? Is none of it a dream? Is it
Right.
what's
I think
happening?
at least like it keeps you guessing, you know. And I could
Mm-hmm.
totally see it being more face value, like what you guys are saying. But I could
I mean,
also see different versions
the,
too.
the thing is, for me, especially at the end, we are seeing the split between the delusion and reality when we see Rumi in the mirror and the Mima persona that she is embodying. And especially, like, because we were saying, like, how is she floating around and doing all that stuff? We actually see the reflection. Mima's persona is skipping around trying to kill Mima. But we see in the reflection, no, Rumi is just running hard and going nuts. And yeah, maybe part of that scene was also kind of in Rumi's perspective as well, where she was seeing herself as Mima. I mean, I know real Mima. I keep saying, yeah, this is hard to distinguish who I'm talking about right now. But I know real Mima was looking in the mirror to talk to Rumi. But I don't know. Maybe it was a shared delusion.
Yeah, there's a lot about like mirrors and stuff too. Yeah, that's why they seem so like all three of those, Mimania, Mima, and Rumi, all seem like so like they have this weird shared consciousness that it's almost hard for me to believe that they're distinct people. You know, because they all have these shared delusions of her as an idol before, and it's like they seem so connected. I don't know that they're distinctly different people. You know. Because they're all having these, like, shared hallucinations. But I don't know.
Well, unless Me-Mania is a hallucination.
Yeah, unless he is a hallucination, maybe so is Rumi. But also, like, you could say that it's like a, what do you call it, a sort of commentary on how, like, the idea of a pop star or the idea of a celebrity becomes bigger than who they actually are. You know? And then it's a shared delusion in a way. You're delusional.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, a shared consciousness about who that person is, and they're not even a real person anymore. They're just a delusion, you know?
Yeah.
So it could just be commentary like that. That could be what it means.
Especially because, and granted, I'm no expert in idol culture in Japan, but I feel like it's especially prevalent over there because it's like... I mean, we looked up a little bit about what they have to do, and, like, I know you're more familiar with K-pop stuff, but...
It's similar, though, with the trainings and things like that.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more intense than K-pop.
It's like they just create a public persona, and that's all they ever see. They don't ever show, I guess, what they are behind the thing. So everyone sees this idol as one thing, so they try to get out of it. No, you're this thing. And people, and like they have some obsessive fans over there, so...
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to, like, when you see child stars and stuff here, and people always think of them as that. You know, they're always like that innocent thing. I think it's a little bit more extreme over there.
Yeah, I would say so because it's not.
But like, it's not so different. You know?
But I don't feel like we go crazy when they grow up.
What about like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus kind of thing?
I didn't really watch Hannah Montana. It didn't matter to me
personally. I think a
personally,
lot of people
but it might have been a little
took
extreme.
It really weird. Yeah, like some people are just extreme about celebrities in general when they do something that seems contrary to like what they were famous for. But I think over there, definitely people become obsessed with the image, and there's a huge like stalker culture and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost promoted by the industry, which is unfortunate for a lot of the people there.
Idols,
but.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely said that definitely has a lot of commentary towards that.
For sure.
I'm sure there's more that we're not even getting to because we're not part of that culture.
Yeah, there's probably a lot that we're not even seeing.
I feel bad for the fish. I don't know. Did they actually die or not?
I don't know. They were dead.
They died,
and then
some
they died
they didn't.
twice. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think the second one at the end, that was Rumi's apartment. That was not Mima's because she was like, that's not. She had a different window looking out on stuff.
So did she just have dead fish too?
No, she just had fish.
But they were dead too, weren't they? I don't
think they were. They were plastic.
No, they were alive.
Yeah.
They were alive?
Yeah, she essentially just made her room exactly like
Mima's. Okay, yeah. Then I guess, yeah, the other girl.
Unless it was Mima's room the whole time, and she owns 2 apartments.
I don't know. It looked like a very similar room either way. You know?
Yeah. It was... Yeah, they were...
It was pretty much identical. How did she get there, though?
Rumi took her home that night. But instead of taking her home, she took her to her place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all like a mishmash. It's like up for interpretation.
Oh yeah, a lot of this is definitely up for interpretation.
Which I think is what makes it interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a bit much to handle a repeat viewing, but it's worth repeat viewing.
I've seen it like probably 3 times.
This is definitely at least 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah. But I can see why some people would be like, not feeling watching it again. You know?
Yeah, I get that.
And I know it was my suggestion, but Maybe, yeah, I wasn't thinking of the broader taste. Maybe.
Well, no, I still enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
I still enjoyed it for its commentary on maybe not just idol culture, but like pop culture in general, or like pop star culture in general, and
Yeah.
how
Mm-hmm.
people, regardless of where you are, how your image is more important than your actual wants and desires, and how it's
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's just was very like intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm trying to think what else to talk about.
Did you like the music?
The music, I didn't notice too much until I think they wanted me to notice it. Like, whenever she first gets on the Mima's room site and starts to realize this is creepy, what the hell? How do they know all this stuff? It starts to pick up into creepy territory. And it occasionally shows up whenever you start to see, like, some sort of weird delusion is happening, or just things are starting to really get insane for her. And I think that it was utilized well in that regard, because it kind of comes on subtly, which these delusions come on kind of subtly as well, if they are delusions. Half of them have to be, right?
At least, yeah.
And I also thought the very ending of the movie was a little weird. Like, it just abruptly cuts to the credits after she's like, yeah, I'm me. And then boom, end credits. It's like, okay.
You don't like that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I think it wasn't real, because it seemed like such a strange moment.
I don't know.
Maybe she just came to terms with herself as a person that, like, she was having such a hard time, like, throughout the whole movie, like, with her self-identity, and then, like, at that point, she's, like,
Guess.
after she's recovered, I guess.
Yeah.
I could see that, like, in a more positive, like, sort of ending. I guess I just, like, I found it so dramatically different from the tone of the rest of the movie that it strikes me as, like, phony. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of in agreement with Gav here, because, yeah, it kind of ends positive. Like, as weird and crazy as some of Satoshi Kon's movies get, and they can sometimes lead into darker territory and stuff like that, usually they have some level of a resolution with a degree of, like, a happy ending or a catharsis that is, like, positive.
I think
some
his
degree.
movies have, like, such varying tones that it's just,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, this is definitely his darkest.
it's definitely, yeah.
If
Like,
not-
when you think of, like, Tokyo Godfathers, it feels so different from, like, the other one, you know?
It's a Christmas movie.
Like, he definitely makes, like, such different movies that I don't even know how easy it is to compare,
Well,
you know?
if I'm comparing it a bit, like, to a degree with, like, tone-wise, I think the closest thing might be Paprika, because it can go to some dark places. It also ends on kind of, like, a more positive note.
That one, yeah,
where-
surely did.
Yeah. So...
It's just, I think it had a more whimsical tone throughout than this one did.
That's true.
So this one, it felt very, like, I can see what Envy was saying, that it felt very, like, weird at the end, where it just, like, abrupt credits, like, I'm the real whatever, you know? It was kind
Maybe.
of strange. It stuck out in a weird way, but I don't know how I feel about it, you know?
Well, you're feeling something.
It just definitely made me think there's something going on that's, like, insidious. I don't know, but maybe it's positive, like Gab said.
Possibly.
I mean, I get what Gav and Al was saying. I think it was just more of the actual editing behind it. Like, she said the line, and then immediately, with, like, no transition, it just cut to the end credits. It's like, that was what caught me jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that. Oh, what else is there? What do we talk about? Should we bring up the idol group that I guess was doing well after she left? I think that's all there is to say.
They were doing well.
They were there.
Yeah, they didn't really have much of a part except as like I guess a comparison
Yeah.
of like how they were doing versus how she was doing. That's like the only purpose I saw of them. Yeah.
Which might have been a way of like building on maybe her unease and regret of maybe leaving.
I think so.
Because it's like they got big right after she left.
Yeah.
Because before that they were performing after
after
Power
Power
Rangers or Powertron. I
Power
think it was
whatever it was.
It
It
was
was pretty goofy. Yeah.
How did that feel? Like, did you guys know what this movie was going in, and then suddenly you're seeing a Power Rangers ripoff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? What else do we have to say about? Should we cut spoiler talk?
We already did. Oh, like end spoiler talk. Yeah.
Yeah. We feel like we got every spoiler that we need to spoil. Last chance for questions on the ending.
A long pause.
All right, you know what? I think everyone's good on that.
Okay.
Welcome back, people who didn't feel like getting spoiled. I'm gonna cut most of that. I probably won't cut. I never cut anything, do I? You don't know. You don't watch. Yeah. So what else do we have to talk about? Oh, we can bring up like that. This movie actually was the rights for it were bought by
Aronofsky.
Darren Aronofsky, because he was making. I can't remember if he bought it for Requiem for a Dream or Black Swan.
I think
but
it was
either
for
case,
Requiem, just to
Yeah.
get that one shot of the bathtub.
Yeah, which is a good shot.
Yeah.
And he kind of, I don't know if he directly based Black Swan on this movie, but it definitely has
the
so
same,
many
yeah.
similarities.
Whole lot. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Black Swan, but
No.
it's pretty
It's-
similar.
I've definitely
It's similar,
heard of
but
it.
I'm gonna say this: it feels like a lighter version of this,
Yeah.
so that might be a little more to some people's taste. But I think this is the more interesting one.
Yeah, I thought Black Swan was like okay. I never really watched it again after the first time. It was a little just like, this is her ascent into madness kind of thing, you know?
They both kind of deal with obsession, but I think they deal with them in different ways. Like Black Swan's like a little bit more about personal obsession,
Yeah.
especially with like perfection,
Yeah.
versus this one's not just about personal obsession, it's about other people's obsession with you, obsession of something that might not even be real.
Right.
And I think there's just more to play with and delve into thematically with that.
I definitely
So.
felt more unsettled by this one than Black
Oh
Swan.
yeah, definitely.
I think Black Swan was kind of interesting to watch as like a character study, but
Yeah.
it didn't give me the same like, I don't know, feeling towards it. I guess it was just kind of like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, because like I feel like especially in Black Swan, you can kind of see where reality's bending a lot more.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious with that one.
So
But it's still a pretty good movie to watch, especially if you want something a little bit lighter than this one.
yeah, not to say that it's not dark because it gets
is,
there,
yeah.
but
But I think it's more
it's lighter than this
palatable,
one.
yeah.
So, any final thoughts on this?
It'd definitely be a yay for people to check out. Just
Yeah.
know what you're into first.
Yeah, I know what you're getting into. Look up some stuff about it because it's a little on the it's a not a little. It's a dark movie.
Yeah, there's definitely some violence too, like a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, I think we
so-
mentioned earlier people were getting murdered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty graphic in a lot of different ways. It shows everything.
Yeah, so points
But-
to them for not holding anything back. But,
Yeah, good movie, but yeah.
Yeah, so go in with a bit of caution, but overall, it's definitely one of Cohn's best works. Yeah. So, next month, because we decided what we were doing for next month's movie thing, and Envy, you picked out this one, so why don't you introduce it a little?
Well, going from one depressing movie to another depressing movie.
I don't know. Was this one depressing?
Well,
In a
I guess.
way.
Okay.
Well, I guess dark movie to a dark movie, A Silent Voice, and it's a 2016 movie. I forget who made it, but
It's Kyoto Animation.
but yeah. To give a very, very, very short summary about the movie, it's about a guy who, in grade school, bullies a deaf girl, and then everyone gets fed up with him about it, so he goes through life ostracized going into high school, and basically it's about him repenting for his past sins while trying to make up with this girl that he bullied, and it's basically dealing with his internal struggle as well as him trying to make up with the people of his life. And to say that this movie floored me would be an understatement. I heard the movie was good, but I thought, oh, it's going to be one of those overrated movies. No. At least to me, lived up to
Netflix
expectations.
tag said tearjerker. I'm worried.
Tearjerker.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens. So it is available on Netflix, so if you have that. And otherwise, I'm sure there's other ways to find it.
Yeah.
I've heard it's good though.
I haven't heard much
seen
about
it
it.
though.
So I'm kind of going in blind here, which
Yeah.
Which is good.
usually fine. But yeah, so that'll be next week, or not next week. What am I talking about? Next month. Yeah. Don't forget to come back next week for more Anime Yay or Nay with our regularly scheduled stuff. If you haven't watched this week's thing that came out at the exact same time as this one, go check it out. And if you, I don't know, next week we're doing episode 9 of Copcraft, episode 10 of Kanata no Astra, episodes 13 and 14 of Steins Gate, and we're just continuing on with those because those have been really good. And if you want to know our opinions on those episodes, go check out our previous one, or our the one that came out parallel to this one. I'm losing my words. It's late. We're doing this. I'm gonna have to edit all of it before tomorrow. Yeah. Well, at least these opinions are fresh anyway. Any final thoughts? Anyone want to say anything before we go?
I'm good.
All right. Cool. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.